Hey everyone, welcome back to Pleasure Principles. Today we're diving into a topic that's tough but important. Look, relationships are built on trust. That's the foundation. But let's be real, sometimes doubt creeps in. It happens to the best of us. If you're watching this, chances are you're worried about your wife's fidelity, and that's okay. You deserve answers. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 signs that your wife might be cheating. These signs, they're like breadcrumbs. They can lead you to the truth. Now, I'm not saying these signs are a smoking gun, but they're definitely red flags. They're things to look out for, things that should make you stop and say, hold on, something's not right here. Remember, this isn't about accusing anyone, it's about getting to the bottom of things. So, let's jump right in and talk about these 5 signs. One of the first things you might notice if your wife is cheating is a change in her emotional availability. It's like she's built a wall, shutting you out. She might be physically present, but emotionally she's a million miles away. This emotional distance, it can be subtle at first. Maybe she's not as talkative as she used to be, or maybe she doesn't seem interested in hearing about your day anymore. You see, when you're in a healthy relationship, you share your lives, your thoughts, your dreams. But when infidelity enters the picture, that connection, it starts to fray. She might be investing that emotional energy elsewhere, into someone else, and that leaves you feeling like a stranger in your own home. Now, I'm not saying that every time a woman needs a little space, it means she's cheating. But if this emotional distance becomes a pattern, if she's consistently withdrawn and unresponsive, it's a red flag. It's a sign that something's off, and you need to pay attention. Think about it, folks. People crave connection. It's in our DNA. And when someone starts pulling away, it's usually because they're finding that connection somewhere else. Don't ignore this sign, it's a big one. Let's talk about another big one, her phone. In this day and age, our phones are like extensions of ourselves. They hold our secrets, our conversations, our connections to the outside world. So when your wife suddenly becomes overly protective of her phone, it's a major red flag. Think about it. If she's got nothing to hide, why all the secrecy? Maybe she's constantly glued to her phone, scrolling through messages or whispering into the receiver. Or maybe she started using it in the bathroom, taking it with her everywhere she goes, even when she never used to. This change in behavior, it's a sign that something's up. It's like she's built a wall around her phone, and she doesn't want you anywhere near it. Now, I'm not saying you should be snooping through her phone, that's a whole other issue. But if she's acting shady, if she's constantly guarding her phone like it's the Holy Grail, it's a sign that something's not right. Remember, trust is built on transparency, and when that transparency disappears, it can erode the very foundation of your relationship. So, if you're noticing this sign, don't ignore it. It's time to start asking some tough questions. Chapter 3. Changes in appearance or routine. Now, let's talk about another sign that your wife might be stepping out. Changes in her appearance or routine. Look, it's natural for people to want to look their best, but when you've been married for a while, you get comfortable. You don't always feel the need to dress to the nines or spend hours primping in front of the mirror. But when infidelity enters the picture, it's like a switch flips. Suddenly, she's hyper-aware of her appearance. She's buying new clothes, trying new hairstyles, hitting the gym more often. And it's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good, about feeling desirable again. And it's not just her appearance, her routine changes too. Maybe she's working late more often, or she's going out with friends you've never met. These changes, they can be subtle at first, but over time, they become impossible to ignore. Now, I'm not saying that every time a woman decides to change up her look or her schedule, it means she's cheating. But if these changes coincide with other red flags, if she's suddenly more interested in her appearance and less interested in spending time with you, it's a sign that something's not right. Chapter 4. Lack of physical intimacy. Let's talk about a topic that's often difficult to discuss. Physical intimacy. In a healthy marriage, physical intimacy is a way to connect, to express love and affection. But when infidelity enters the picture, that intimacy can disappear faster than a toupee in a hurricane. Think about it. If your wife is emotionally and physically invested in someone else, it's only natural that she's going to be less interested in being intimate with you. She might make excuses, saying she's tired or stressed, or she might just flat out reject your advances. This lack of intimacy, it can be devastating to a marriage. It can make you feel unwanted, unloved, like you're not good enough. And the longer it goes on, the more damage it can do to your self-esteem and your relationship. Now, I'm not saying that every couple has a red-hot sex life all the time. There are going to be ebbs and flows, times when you're more or less intimate. But if you're noticing a significant and persistent decline in physical intimacy, it's a red flag that something's not right. Chapter 5. Unexplained changes in mood or behavior. The last sign we're going to talk about is a little more subtle, but it's just as important as the others. Unexplained changes in mood or behavior. When someone is cheating, they're carrying around a lot of guilt, shame, and fear. And those emotions, they have to come out somewhere. You might notice that your wife is more irritable than usual, or that she's quick to anger. She might be withdrawn and quiet one minute, then lash out for no apparent reason the next. These mood swings, they can be confusing and frustrating, leaving you wondering what you did wrong. But the truth is, it's not about you, it's about her. She's struggling to cope with the emotional turmoil of her infidelity, and those emotions are manifesting in her behavior. Now, I'm not saying that every time a woman has a bad day, it means she's cheating. But if you're noticing a pattern of unexplained mood swings and erratic behavior, it's a red flag that something's not right. Pay attention to these changes, folks. They're often the first sign that something is amiss in your relationship. What to do now? Now, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize that these signs are just indicators, not absolute proof. Relationships are complex, and there could be many reasons why your wife might display one or more of these behaviors. The best approach is open and honest communication. If you're having doubts, try talking to her and see if there's an opportunity to reconnect or address whatever might be going on. Don't go in with accusations, that'll just put her on the defensive. Approach the conversation with empathy and a willingness to listen. Tell her you've noticed some changes in her behavior and you're concerned about the state of your relationship. Remember, trust and transparency are the foundation of any healthy relationship. If you can't talk to each other openly and honestly, your relationship is built on shaky ground. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content on pleasure principles. See you in the next one.